What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the absolute best show in all of pro wrestling and sports entertainment. You know what time it is. It is the Royal Rundown. I am your host for this evening, Serg Vicente, and I'm joined as always by my co-hostess with the mostest, Miss Dre. Miss Dre, what is going on?
Hey y'all, hey y'all. It's been a rough couple weeks.
It has been a
It's
rough
been a
couple
rough
weeks
couple weeks
in the
for
world of
sure.
professional wrestling. Before we get to all of that, thank you everybody who is joining us live right now and who is going to be watching us at any point in time on
Yeah.
the absolute fastest growing YouTube channel of combat sports. Coming up on 2 million views in almost 2 years. We are talking about none other than the Scrap News. If you want the absolute best in combat sports media, please go out there and check them out today. Scrapnews.co. Fantastic. Check out the YouTube page, like, share, and subscribe. If you like videos like this and many others, please check it out. The team that they currently have on YouTube, not only myself and my partner, Miss Dre over here, everybody they have doing things are absolutely phenomenal. Do yourselves a favor, check them out today. All right. It has been a rough little bit in the world of professional wrestling. And this it sucks. Like, I'll be honest with you. It's one of those things that it really breaks your heart when you see it. Jay Briscoe, the fantastic Jay Briscoe, the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion. I mean, literally 3 weeks ago, had one of the best matches, if not honestly the best match of the year, with FTR dog collar match. Amazing match. Jay Briscoe unfortunately was in a car accident, was hit head on. He died, and unfortunately he is no longer with us. Jay Briscoe passed away yesterday, and the world of professional wrestling is hurting right now. Not only do you see other performers, crowd, fans like Dre and myself, people that have seen Brad. And again, I'm not here. I'm not going to talk about any of the other stuff that he's been involved in and said and done things like that, because of those things he has worked a very long time to make amends for some comments that he made in the past. Everything that I've ever heard, Jay is a solid guy. Your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler was Jay Briscoe. He was one of those guys that not only did he never wrestled down to his partner. He always made sure you wrestled up with him. They, even to the point, even thinking of how many people in the world of professional wrestling have taken something from him and have grown and learned from him. You're looking at El Generico, Sami Zayn, you have Ciampa and many others, FTR, obviously, whom were very close with these gentlemen. And obviously, shout out to Jay Briscoe's brother, Mark, and the rest, obviously, his family. He had 2 girls in the car with him. Fortunately, they are still okay. But it's rough. And I know I'm kind of stumbling over my words and everything right now to kick it off. I'm usually a little bit better with this, but this is rough. These are those moments in time where, we follow combat sports and sports entertainment because of that very stuff, the entertainment value of it, how much we really do enjoy the sport, and how much these entertainers bring us joy with the performances that they put on, the emotion that they invoke when they are there performing for us, putting their bodies on the line. And nobody embodied that more than truly Jay Briscoe. Very sad. Everyone here, not only on the Royal Rundown, the Scrap News, we are sending our condolences to Jay Briscoe and his family. Dre, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to touch on just about everything you said, and I think unfortunately, this isn't our first one of types of this news that
I
we've
feel
actually
like
had
these
to
things are
cover.
happening so regular, and it's just that's what's
Yeah,
heartbreaking. I feel like I've come on here and some my other shows before, and I feel like I'm talking about very similar things. Shit's heartbreaking.
yeah, it's heartbreaking, and one of the reasons why I brought up some of the other tragedies, and the first things that come to my mind right now, especially in the last few years, is Brody Lee and Kevin, and
Oof.
Scott Hall, and
Oof.
now we have Jay Briscoe. Unfortunately, is that we always on the Royal Rundown talk about how much we are talent first, and how
Mm-hmm.
as much as we're fans and we love having a good time and talking mess about what we're seeing on TV, what we like, what we don't like in terms of what they do for a living, um, we are always we at our show, Serge and myself, we are always very cognizant to remind everyone that we're not a troll show. We remember that
Not at all.
people are
Nope.
human beings and they have families and they have friends, and this is bigger than wrestling for them. This is their life. And they have a life and they put that on the line for us all the time when they're in the ring. And unfortunately, that doesn't make them immune to real life things. And
For sure.
unfortunately, this tragedy has happened to Jay and his family. And we just again want to send our condolences to Jay and to his family. Our prayers out for his girls who are still fighting, in the hospital, because unfortunately they were also in the car with him. And just you can't fathom what that family is going through right now. But all we can do as fans and as people who appreciate what they do for us entertainment wise is give them all of our prayers and our thoughts and positivity to them in their real lives,
Mhm.
and just keep that in mind. Wrestling Twitter can be a weird place. Social media in general can be a weird place. And, I'm grateful that I'm following folks that have handled this situation with the amount of a maturity that it deserves, because
Yeah.
it's just, these the wrestling like the locker rooms, that's a brother and a sisterhood, on its own. And like they've lost a lot of their family members, you know what I mean? And each one is special, and these things are tough. Grief is tough, and we just want to make sure that, I don't know, just as a fan and as people who cover these things, we want to make sure it gets the proper amount of
Mhm.
attention that it deserves, but also just the level of maturity that it deserves as well. Because again, man, we're here to provide our version of entertainment too, right? We want to provide some joy in a very sad time.
Mhm.
Um, and so, like, if I would like to kind of talk a little bit more about, you know, Jay Briscoe, and like for us personally, like I know that I was a little late to the game to the Briscoe brothers. I was a little late to the game. I didn't
For
really,
sure.
I knew who they were, but I
Mhm.
didn't really watch their matches a ton until I started working here, and going back and trying to and go, oh yeah, like Serge said, your favorite tag team is these guys,
I mean,
Um,
look at who gave them shout outs. The
yeah,
Usos gave shout outs. The Elite are
absolutely,
literally wearing J bands today. Other people came in rocking headband. I almost came in today rocking a headband. It just would have
yeah, for
clashed with my
sure.
jacket, so I didn't want to have that on. But hey,
The headbands and plaids. It's not gonna
yeah,
go.
it's too much. It's too much.
Doing a lot.
Uh,
Real busy.
but it's definitely I'm sorry to cut you off. Please continue. I'm
No,
sorry.
please, no. I mean that's the point. Like to me, I remember, I went back to, I didn't watch a ton of Ring of Honor. I had to go back. I always go back when I
Mhm.
hear, and or if I get
Right.
become a fan of a wrestler and I'm like, oh, they did stuff here. Let's go back and watch that.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and just we talk about the Briscoe brothers as a unit all the time, but they definitely had plenty of singles matches. And like Kenny King, who is also a major player in Ring of Honor and Impact, and who is one of my favorite wrestlers that should be on a major network to me, should be in a major company as well to me. He talks about how Jay Briscoe was the only person that he knew could murk him in a promo.
Mhm.
And Kenny King is dope. Like Kenny King could murk anybody in a promo, and he said every time he knew he had to look across from that man, he knew that he was gonna get murked. And like
Yo, Champa
that's
saying that he was
amazing.
intimidated by him.
Yeah,
Somebody like Tommaso Ciampa, who said literally was intimidated by him, who grew up, and even to the point that the character that he currently portrays in the WWE is, I don't want to say a knockoff, but it is
It's influenced by.
is heavily influenced by,
Yeah.
Jay Briscoe specifically. And
Mm-hmm.
to hear that, and again, every time you hear these things and the people coming out talking about it is always extremely, extremely, emotional and sad to say. But if we're going to talk about some positive things, I mean, look, Jay Briscoe and his brother are fantastic professional wrestlers. If you have an opportunity to really check them out, check out the dark collar match with FTR. Might be the best match of the year. If
If
you
you
don't,
don't do
also
anything, watch all of their matches with FTR from
all
21 to
of their
22.
matches, yes,
Every
because those are
single
the
one of
matches that I that's when I first did their first FTR match, which was the end of 2020. I
them.
want to say was the first time I saw the Briscoes personally, because I wasn't a Ring of Honor guy.
Yeah.
So to be able to see them, and I was like, damn, they got something. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's something there. Watch their match with them. Also watch El Generico and Kevin Owens against them
Oh
for the Ring
yeah.
of Honor title. Check that one out. Another incredible
And for
match.
those who don't
Yes.
know, El Generico is Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn as a luchador. Yes. And he is incredible as at
Incredible.
that. But with that being said, we'll put a bow on it over here. Our condolences go
Man.
out to Jay Briscoe, his family, his daughters. Hope everybody, we're sending him our best from the Royal Rundown and the Scrap News here. But yeah, do yourself a favor as a professional wrestling fan. Go out there, watch some film of the Briscoes.
Watch
You'll
some
be
film,
happy.
buy some
You will
gear, buy
buy some
buy their
gear.
gear.
Yeah, for
Do
sure.
something. Yeah,
Yeah.
do something to support
Cop
like
some gear. That probably
what a
be a
fan
good
can
good
do,
move.
do
Yeah, for
that
sure. For
for
sure. For
sure.
sure. All right. Let's transition a little bit. AEW
Yeah.
Dynamite's on. They're actually going out there, and not only they going out there doing their thing, they are showing some love and respect to Jay Briscoe himself. Dre, you want to go ahead and touch on that real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. So Tony Khan tweeted out earlier today during AEW Dynamite that after the show tonight, which was live, they'll be filming a special a Ring of Honor special to honor Jay Briscoe. So just shout out to all the talent in that locker room who are going to stay afterwards to do more work. It's essentially,
Yeah. Heck yeah.
but let's be real. Like again, just that brother and sisterhood of professional wrestlers in general. Like it's so close, and so I can I think that's a really great way. There is no good way to feel after something like that, but I think that at least for me, and anytime I've ever lost someone that was very close to me, being with family and friends, and being able to laugh even though you want to cry, and even being able to cry and laugh at the same time in the same sentence sometimes is always really, really helpful and cathartic. And I think that that's what the talent they need at the moment to kind of be together, honor their friends, honor their coworkers, honor their brother, you know what I mean, in that wonderful way. So it'll be airing. Tony Khan said they're gonna shoot it tonight, and then they're going to post it to the Honor Club for free, so anyone can watch it. It's also going to be on Ring of Honor's YouTube channel. So,
That's awesome.
stay close to Tony Khan's Twitter when they have that announcement, about when it's going to be up. But I'll definitely be watching.
Absolutely. Have to watch that. But you know what? Let me. I'm gonna change gears slightly because Dre, I'm gonna be very honest with you. 2023.
It's starting off real weird, ain't it?
It ain't it so far.
It's getting real weird, ain't it?
Combat sports and everything else in 2023.
Mad weird.
It's not what's up. Now, I had a professional fighter sitting here in a face-off against another professional fighter this week, talking about every time I close my eyes. Like, what the hell, bro? What is going on? It's madness. Not only that, you got Dana White slapping people and then publicizing a slap league. All kinds of nonsense is going on. Pro wrestling is weird. Everything is weird. But I'll be very honest with you. And Dre, tell me if I'm wrong. Because of what is happening with Vince McMahon specifically,
right?
It has put a terrible taste in my mouth. And I'll be very honest with you. I have not had the enthusiasm
Mm-hmm.
that I have had for professional wrestling. And then obviously the bow on it, we just obviously talked about the top of the show. I'm not excited. And to the point that even that, because I'll be, so that's what I'm going to ask you. How long until Vince fires Triple H? Let's just be honest with me. Because here's the thing, I'm going to be honest with you, because I'm telling you, if anybody thinks anything otherwise, you're a fool. I'm saying it again.
Not a fool.
Anybody who thinks anything otherwise is being a fool. And the reason that I'm going out there and saying that is this. Do you mean to tell me the individual that literally strong-armed his way to get back into the company to the point in which his own daughter left isn't going to go out there and continue strong-arming himself and making and doing exactly what he wants to do? This old, out-of-touch buffoon is going to go out here and he's truly messing up the best thing that has ever happened in the world of professional wrestling. And Dre, do you want to know what the best thing in professional wrestling ever was?
What is the best thing in professional wrestling ever was? The
best thing that ever happened in professional wrestling was Vince McMahon leaving and getting kicked out of the sport. That was the exact best thing that ever happened in the world of professional wrestling. And the fact that he is not back, I am telling you right now, Triple H is having to go out there and tell people that, you know, Vince is going to be gone. Like he's not going to be the one calling the shots. I am. The fact that you have to go in there and say that, and creative that is. Yeah. And he also said he's not going to do anything. He said, I'm going to go out here and I'm just going to, my only job, this is Vince, is to help facilitate the sale.
Facilitate the sale.
Which Triple H and Stephanie did not want to do, might I add. They were two of the people on the board that did not want to sell the company, might I add.
Right.
He forces himself back into a company they kicked him out of, where a few weeks prior to that, the board themselves said they did not want him back.
Right.
I'm telling you right now, enjoy it. I think we're going to see ramifications of Vince McMahon in the Royal Rumble. And I think by WrestleMania, it will be Vince's show once again. I have been right on every damn thing that I've said on the show. I'm going to be right again.
Okay. Lean back, sir. There's no show. I'm just here to co-host. Lean back. I am going to, I'm not going to say I'm going to rebut you because I don't disagree with a lot of what you're saying. I am a smidge more hopeful than you. Not much. I'm not much, like, let's be clear. Not much. But my nature is to be hopeful, right? So if Triple H says he's head of creative, then he's head of creative, and I will watch until I hear otherwise. Now, what up, Remo? So look, I am not going to stop watching until I'm not even going to consider stop watching, honestly, until I hear anything else. This is why, and it kind of goes back to everything we always say all the time. I'm always talent first, always. And
you're always what first?
Talent first. I'm always talent first. And although I know that I have to, it's kind of like the same argument where, God, it's not, whatever. My point is I'm always talent first. And our talent and the talent on my television screen does not have anything to do with what's happening behind closed doors in the, episode, in this episode of Scandal, Leverage, Severance. You know what I mean? Like, what I do know that is this episode of The Dark Side of the Ring in like 5 years is going to be amazing. That's what I do know. The documentary, the movie, whatever we get in 10 to 15 is going to be amazing.
It's going to be amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what I know.
Because this is a movie.
$7, and it'll be a $7 production. It'll be a good one. So, and I'm not gonna lie, the petty part of me is just watching popcorn, is eating popcorn, drinking wine. Like, well, this is getting good. This is getting good. Like, really,
it's not getting good.
It's getting interesting. It's getting interesting. It's getting interesting. Like we sat here last week, and the news broke of a potential Saudi deal that turned out not to actually be a deal, right? So we all freaked out. and which is great, right? We're never been so happy to be wrong. Right?
Never been so happy.
Never been so relieved to be wrong, right? But I think that we're not. I think for us as fans and then people again who cover these things, our job really is to just kind of fasten our seatbelts and watch this all play out.
Buckle up.
Like we're gonna have plenty to talk about in the next several weeks.
Because if Vince comes out here and messes up my boy Dom, it messes up all the work that he's put in over this past year without him.
I mean, yeah, your boy Dom's a whole thug now. It's amazing.
Dominic Mysterio is the best heel in professional wrestling.
I cannot. He's only half joking, y'all. Because but he is entertaining. Like, and he's far more entertaining than he ever was.
So entertaining.
Right?
He is so damn entertaining.
Yes, I agree with you. I'm not as excited about Royal Rumble season as I was with we had confidence Triple H was running it, and then all of this stuff happened in the last 2 weeks, and now we're just kind of like we're almost scared watching. Now, as someone who's watched Raw and SmackDown since then, the show is still good. I didn't see any big Vince McMahon imprints on it. I actually saw some really good character development with Austin Theory, and that's the Sami Zayn and the Bloodline storyline is continuing to move forward with really good hints and things. So
watching the Usos hit the Uso Penitentiary again and going down to lockdown, like them doing that promo once again and bringing that back.
It made you happy. It made you happy, didn't it? It eased your heart just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Especially because they did it in front of my boy Dom.
In front of your boy Dom.
He was like my favorite people all in the ring together. It was great.
It was great. People, all your Teslas in the ring.
That better. Only thing that would have made that better is if Montez was running around somewhere in there, or something. That would be the only thing that would have made it better for me.
Just random. Give Sergio the pencil. Random folks in the ring. Montez Ford. Why? No. Speaking of Montez Ford and Bianca Belair, we're on Watch What Happens Live with Andy. What's his face? Andy Cohen, the Real Housewives of everybody. They were on there the other night. I'm like, shout out to them doing other media together. That's
doing their thing.
Superstars, I think my only I am going to be blissfully ignorant as I watch the Royal Rumble because I want to enjoy it. And even the build to the Rumble next week, I'm just going to be blissfully ignorant, and I'm just going to watch it as a fan, and I'm not going to think about he who shall not be named potentially
Voldemort. Yes,
over for
Voldemort. We do not want him to take over ever again.
We're gonna, and in my brain, Triple H is still there. In the brains of all the creative, because that is what he said in both talent meetings. I am still in control of creative, so Triple H is in control of creative. I hope these aren't famous last words, but
I just do not see a world.
It's the only way I can enjoy the shows without being like you, which I totally understand, right? And this is the downside of so much media and social media now. When we watched this stuff as kids, we didn't know what was going on backstage, and they had plenty of scandal. We had the steroid scandal back then,
trial,
Chris Benoit, and all that, etc., etc. We had the WWF turning into WWE, which was a thing. The pump company going public in 2000, that was a thing.
All of the sexual misconduct.
Think of there was Twitter back then.
I think about if there was Twitter back then a lot. What if there was Twitter when we was in college? I'm glad they wasn't none of that shit.
No, thank you. And no, thank you. I ain't do nothing
parties in the Alpha House, boy. I can't. I'm glad there wasn't none of that shit then.
Oh, definitely no cameras in there, honey. No, sir.
I was not there. What do you mean? I wasn't even there.
You were not either, was I?
Nope. So what? I lived in the house.
You definitely lived in the house.
Definitely lived in the house. Yes, I was there. Yes, we partied in the basement. My room was in the basement. I was amongst the tomfoolery.
Those were good parties. Anyway, my point is,
make it hard, boy.
we had a good time. We did.
Oh boy, those college days swiftly pass.
But my point is, that's kind of what keeps me from being as down about it as you are, right? It's just because look, we're adults. We're adults. We're in media. We cover this. Therefore, it's
Right.
our job to kind of know what's going on, which can kind of sour you from enjoying the product as a fan, but
Absolutely.
you have to disconnect yourself from it because you still want to be a fan. And like the point of this is, like you said, we watch this for entertainment. So be entertained. And then, your other brain can kick in later when we start talking about what we're going to talk about on the
Yeah,
show.
absolutely, absolutely. But look, okay, let's transition a little bit because yes, Vince, whatever.
Yeah.
I was gonna say let's talk about the Royal Rumble, but let's talk about that next week. It's 10 days
Yeah.
away. Next week we'll
Yeah.
make our predictions and everything. So guys, do yourselves a favor, tune in next Thursday. Actually, yeah,
Yes.
yes, next
Yes.
Thursday, evening, same time, same place. We'll be breaking down the all of the Royal Rumble and we'll have a good time with
Predictions
that.
and such. Yes.
Predictions and such. We're gonna have a great time. Make sure you tap in there really quick. Like,
Yes.
share, and subscribe to
Right now.
this. Not only this fantastic episode, make sure you do
Right
that
now.
with the Scrap News. I'm talking about the fastest growing YouTube channel in all of combat sports. 2 million views in 2 years. I'm telling you guys, go out there and check them out. Fantastic. Not only do you see shows like this, we have a litany of fantastic YouTube creators that are on there right now doing that. Please go out there and check that out today. I
You
did.
thought I heard that word? Talent. Litany.
And I read books, damn it.
Books he reads.
You know what I'm saying?
That's an F on there. Books.
Multiples. Even listen to them shits.
Hey, let's go.
The audios and everything. But okay, let's talk about some positives in the world of professional wrestling, because you know what, there's still some fantastic performers going out there. And I had a little bit of a problem, and I wanted to see if you felt me with this one. Every time I look over, we're looking at the incredible luchadors, and you already know how I feel about luchadors. I think luchadors are the best of the best talent-wise, in my opinion.
You got the shirt. I was like, Latino Heat is in the shirt. It's on the shirt.
The best of the best, okay?
Yes.
But
one time
I've consistently seen, they're the biggest free agents that come over, but once they're finally there, the organizations don't seem like they're doing anything with them. Yes, we have Death Triangle, we have the Lucha Bros, which is phenomenal, and they just had a best of 7 series with the Elite that was one of the highlights of the last couple months. Absolutely. My thing is this: when I look at it and I look at those type of individuals, these organizations aren't giving them any real belts. And you can miss me with a trios belt because they just got that so that the Elite could actually have something, and they didn't have to give Kenny Omega a belt right from the jump, and they didn't have to give the Young Bucks the tag team title right off the bat, because that's what they really wanted to do. So instead of doing that, here guys, let's create this trios title, which, let's not forget, and I don't want to hear anybody, well, they just had the trios title. The only reason they had it was because the Elite got into a fight with CM Punk. Literally, the only reason that they had that belt, and the only reason that we even got this best of 7 series. We can't. You can't even look at me. You can miss me with that little look you got right there, because
I'm giving the look to you. I'm giving the look to you.
That's the only reason they even had that.
Okay. Finish your thoughts. Finish your thought, please. Absolutely.
The only reason they even had that. So when I look at that, and I'm looking at the WWE, and we already know sizeism over there in the WWE. You got to be large before we give you a belt.
I think you just made up a term, but that's perfect.
Yeah, I did this shit. It's perfect. It works. Sizeism over there in the WWE. You got that shit. And the thing about it, when you look at that, is it just me, or is these talented individuals that are such coveted free agents on the way over there are not getting championship runs, real championship runs? You could even throw Ricochet in there, and they definitely don't want to give my man. They want him, and that's the thing. These are the individuals who put the best matches of the night on, but these organizations are not rewarding them with being the faces of their company. Am I tripping?
So, is it my turn? Lovely. Okay. You're not necessarily tripping with part of that. They're not going. It's hard for luchadors in any major company. Let me take that back. Any North American, let me take that back. Any U.S. based major company. Historically, that has been a difficult thing. But even if we think about that, That's also not true either. It's really a WWE problem, right? That's began with as a WWE problem, and then they tried to kind of rectify that with Rey Mysterio, and he even only had like, his title runs have all been a little bit lackluster, but he's still revered. But he's still revered as a legend, top guy, especially now. The man's like 70 years old. No, he's not. He's been wrestling for a gazillion years. Rey Mysterio.
Oh yeah.
So, and then, we can even throw Eddie Guerrero in there in terms of WWE's attempts to make a lucha type of wrestler their person, their face, right? So, this is what I'm going to say. It's a two-pronged problem, and it's not necessarily, but I'm not as far with it as you are, and especially with the AEW argument, because we have to remember that AEW is still a new company. And they have a very bloated roster. They have a roster bloat.
Very good point. Very good point. And you're literally making my point for me.
I am. They have a roster bloat problem. Now, what I have noticed, and I would say in the last couple of weeks this year, it's only January 18th. But what I've noticed is that they're trying to kind of give folks that have that have gotten over in defeat more wins, even the first couple of weeks of this year. For example, Top Flight are not luchas, but they kind of wrestle in that style, that high flying kind of style. The Top Flight beat the Elite today.
They're not luchadors.
They wrestle in that style though.
I'm talking about luchadors, guys who have actually a luchador is somebody, again, yes, the new style, and you're getting some of these guys that are a new style jumping and flipping around and shit. That's great. I am talking about luchadors. I'm talking about people that there's a difference.
In Mexico, I get it. AAA, etc. I feel you.
And here's the thing, and I definitely consider Ricochet a luchador. I even consider El Geronimo, whatever the fuck, El Geronimo, Generico. I swear
we need to get this book with Serg's new words. We got to get that written. Look, I disagree. I just don't think everyone needs a belt. That's just my thing. I don't think you have to have a belt to be a top guy, a top girl, a top person on a company. I don't think you need a belt. There's only so many belts. When you start saying top people need belts, you get too many belts.
AEW has 37 belts.
37. And the luchadors you just talked about had a few of them multiple times. The Lucha Bros have had multiple belts. Multiple. They've had the trio titles and they've had the tag titles at least twice. So in that regard, they were the tops of their divisions. Now I understand you would like Penta or whatever, either one of them, low-key, to be going for the title. I understand that. But to me, you have several hours of television as you're watching wrestling. There's multiple ways to be a top guy, and they are always in the talks to be one. They're always in the room with one of them. Always.
I hear what you're saying. In my personal
opinion, I think that's more of a WWE problem than it is I will say newer company problem, or even an indie company problem, because ECW was having luchas be the faces. That's how we even, they were doing that in the 90s. So my point is, I think that you just want your faves to be the world champions, and I get that. And I get that. That's why they're your faves. You should want them to be the world champion. They're your faves.
But it's not even about, in my opinion, it's not even about them just strictly being world champions, right?
Okay.
Unnecessary losses, in my opinion. It's like,
but they get over defeat though. You don't love that getting over defeat shit. That's not your jam.
I don't like.
You're very old school. You want a winner who's got to win, who won, and I love the getting over in defeat, because that's how you build a baby face.
Not when it's consistent though. It's like a prime example. I hate what the WWE and I have loved what Triple H has been doing. Absolutely loathe what they're doing with Ali. I hate that.
Fact.
I hated what they're doing.
We will not disagree there. Factual.
L after L after L after L after L is not a good thing. You bring somebody like Bandito in, for instance,
Well,
who
yeah,
is supposed to be the big
that's an
star that's been
AEW.
fighting over people left and right. And all of a sudden, he comes in and takes L after L after L. One win, L after L after L.
But
after
here,
L.
okay, and so but the Bandito's a perfect example because tonight he wrestled a ridiculously
And
amazing match
Dragon
against
Lee
Bryan
gonna take
Danielson.
hella losses in the WWE.
I don't even want to think about that right now.
And
But
low key, Dragon Lee right now, they send him to NXT. He is better than every single person on NXT's roster right now. I am including Carmelo Hayes in that mix.
I was like, you let me get
including Carmelo Hayes in that mix. He is definitely better than Carmelo Hayes.
That's a take now.
Go watch the film.
I ain't gonna disagree.
Go watch. That's for everybody watching and listening. You need to. That's another one. Go do some wrestling homework. Go watch Dragon Lee.
Go watch Dragon Lee. He's cold. I ain't got nothing. You ain't gonna hear me say a negative word about Dragon Lee. Cold.
Ice cold. Ice baby.
Oh, okay. All right now. I forgot who I was talking to for 30 seconds. Lord of mercy. You gonna throw it up or nah? What you doing?
No, man.
Nah,
they ain't ready.
Yeah, I'm too cool for that right now. No.
I'm a grown man.
Oh, but whatever. I listen. I am a fan. I don't mind the getting over defeat. That's because there you go. I don't mind the getting over defeat. I like the story. To me, again, my favorite part of wrestling, aside from the actual wrestling, of course, is the storytelling that we get. And like, to me, when you have a really dope wrestler like a Bandito, like a Dragon Lee, like I don't want to wish that on him, but like a Mustafa Ali, for example, too. I'm okay with losses. Oh, I forgot, bro. I totally forgot. And now I'm back.
HT, yes. Brother. Ain't we HT? So right at the top, bro. There we go. Spring 05. That's how we get down.
A moment. Give him a moment.
Just let them know.
I love y'all, you know. And I meet y'all everywhere I go, apparently.
Now, Otis and Coda.
So my thing with the drag for Bandito, for example, against Bryan Danielson tonight, Bryan Danielson is the best wrestler, is arguably the best wrestler today, right? Arguably, right? There's a list, there's like a 4-way tie between a couple, but he's like the best. And he had a 2-3 segment long match on Wednesday night, on Dynamite against Bryan Daniel, against Bandito, and it was good and it was competitive.
And they should
hold on, let me finish.
Because Bandito's that dude.
And that's what they were showcasing. That's the point I'm getting to. They're never gonna. My thing is if you give them squashes, for example, you mentioned Mustafa Ali. We can be mad about that because that's that. Like they're
big
doing
squash.
him wrong.
Big squash action.
Or just getting beat up backstage for no reason. He just so happens to always be there. Yes, rude.
Man, people be getting mad and they be walking. They'll take an L. They'll take an L in the ring, then they'll go to the back and see Ali and just beat his ass.
Exactly. So you know what I'm saying? Like that's someone we can get me mad at, especially because we know how talented Mustafa is, not just in the ring, but also character-wise on the mic. You give him something, he could be just as good as he could be just as good as a Sami Zayn if you give him the right storyline.
Yes, he can. And he can do anything. He can be a heel. He can be a face. Ali is fantastic.
Give him the ball give him a good ball. Give him a ball with some air in it, not like the whole what was it called? Retribution mess. No, give him the ball with some air in it, and he'll go. But don't give him a flat ball. Don't give him a balloon. Yeah. Like that was terrible.
It's almost worse. What they're doing to Ali is almost worse than not having him on TV. They consistently have him on TV to be the punching bag, to be the butt of the joke.
It only makes sense though if he gets his come up after this, right? Like it's.
But when we look at it, it's like there is no. At this present moment in time, I don't see a path for that to change at any point soon. I don't.
Yeah.
Now things can change.
It's
absolutely.
You never know.
Again,
this is wrestling. Anything can happen.
AEW. No, you're right. Absolutely. we're talking about like AEW, right? And the guys and everything that's over there. You're absolutely correct about the Lucha Bros. They're incredible.
Yeah.
They're also some of the OGs in AEW. So
they are considered faces of the company. They're one of the faces of that company.
They are, and I will concede to that. I will. Now, do I think that? I think of the face of the company. Like, I am tired of seeing some. MJF is the most.
We're gonna do. I knew. It's like we were getting here. I felt it.
I'm sorry. I have to do it. MJF, and I'm gonna say it one more time for y'all.
You're gonna say it again. Mm-hmm.
MJF is the most overrated wrestler on the roster.
Oh,
and the reason that I say that, yes, he's decent on the mic. I'm gonna say that one more time too. He's decent on the mic because we're noticing now when we put him in there with somebody else that they haven't allowed to cook, a la Ricky Stark. He ain't on the same level. Granted, who was the one that said that prior to that even happening?
You did. You said it. You did. I'm gonna give you that. And you know what happened I would almost say as a reward for that is Ricky Starks is now in a feud with Chris Jericho. Again, a legend. To me, like there's just certain people in AEW with their bloated roster and all. There is a tiered thing that they do that makes a lot of sense to me. If you see someone, if you're in a feud, if you get to get a feud with Bryan Danielson, with Jon Moxley, with Chris Jericho, if you get to feud with one of them, and there's a couple more in there too, the Elite, Kenny Omega, right? If you get to feud with one of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm happy for. They allowed them to yeah, absolutely.
If you get to feud with one of them, you up next. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you next. Yeah. And that's the thing. I do really like that kind of like, I mean, I don't know if they've trained us in that way or if that's on purpose or not, but it does, it does make for excitement. For example, seeing Ricky Starks getting into a feud with the entire Jericho Appreciation Society, not just helps him, it helps the other people in that group that are not just Chris Jericho, which is also great.
I will say, but
Starks smirked MJF, and I think because MJF is champ right now, which makes sense storyline wise, it does. So I don't have a beef with that. I just think it's interesting that, I think we're gonna we said it when it was going on.
And I say
Ricky
that
and MJF are rising together. Yeah, and they're rising together.
Yes,
absolutely.
But my point to say that even bringing MJF up is that you have people that have put in work for decades,
right.
that are just as good, if not better on the mic if you give them an opportunity, have entire better gimmicks and presence. You cannot tell me Pentagon does not have a better presence than MJF. The fact that he sits there and I'm gonna beat this guy.
Do it, Serg. It's your show. Do it.
If MJF wasn't a white boy, y'all wouldn't pay him no attention.
Oh boy, here we go.
Am I lying?
He's looking in the eyes.
And the reason I say that is this. It's because what does he wrestle? He wrestles just as much as Bray Wyatt.
No, he wrestles more like a Brock Lesnar, if you will. No.
Exactly. And he ain't Brock. Because y'all forget, Brock used to cook.
Here's the thing. I don't disagree with a lot of that. I will say this. The thing about MJF is that he knows exactly.
And I say that being an MJF fan.
Right. Like, he is a fan of his. Because when he does get in between the ropes, we enjoy ourselves. Every time. Every single time.
But I'm just keeping it a buck. There's a reason.
I think Serg's issue. Like this dude. Yeah, I think there's a reason. Serg's issue is you don't see enough of him actually working. And to
that's
you,
my problem. Yes.
And I don't and I don't have a beef with this either because I think this is a preference thing. To you, his promos are cool, but like I need you to wrestle too. And
not only are they cool,
it's like they cool, but where's the wrestling to back it up?
It's kind of the same thing now.
It is.
And
It has gotten a
Ricky, and it's
little.
funny that Ricky kind of pointed that out. It's just like you can go in there and see exactly what he's gonna do. He's gonna shit on the crowd. He's gonna say he's the best. He's gonna do this. It's boring to me now. It's because it's nothing new. He's like yelling the whole time. Like it's not.
He had a different promo today. That's
I
to
didn't
your
see today's
point.
show.
You didn't, but to your point, but that's a good point you made because I did. That was the first thing I noticed today in his promo, and it was on video, so he actually didn't go to the ring or anything. It was on video. It was different than what he's done before, and then there's a little storyline piece with him paying Brian Cage to hurt Brian Danielson in their match next week or whatever. So
another fantastic wrestler. Brian
you like
Cage.
him, you suffer from sizes and Serge. You like him big and Brock Lesnar.
I am hyping luchadors
or luchadors, but them in betweens you be struggling with. You like, all right, say the lucha
that I be struggling with. I love Sami Zayn. I've always loved Sami Zayn,
but he's rooted in lucha. So shut up.
What was that?
Oh, Sammy's rooted in lucha. So keep talking. Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens is another one.
Is it okay? He ain't muscular, but he's not small. Go on.
Obviously, I love Ricochet. Let me see. I can go down the list. I love Ricochet. I love Ali.
Keep going.
Because here's the thing. I'm naming everybody who's like that size. Who else isn't that size?
But
name me some people. I love everybody in the Hurt Business. I love Sheldon, who's huge.
Every single one of them is big, bitty man slapping me. What are you talking about? Even Cedric Wall. Stop this.
They just jacked. they natural. That's what they look like.
Yes, they do. Amen to all of them. Love the Hurt Team Hurt Business over here.
Team Hurt Business. Let's go. Hurt Business. Name me people. Name some tweener sizes and let's see if I mess with them or not. Please. I'm putting it out to you. Because
MJF is a great example. MJF is a good example, but I have to give you credit. I will give you this credit though, because you really was not feeling him at all. And then he during the Punk feud, you actually came around to him. And then what did you say? You started posting videos of him getting buff, getting a little bit more cut, a little more buff, and all of a sudden you really were like, he's not that bad.
Who, MJF?
Yes.
He looks the part now.
That part.
Yeah. But here's the thing.
You like someone to look the part, and that's fair.
I need you to look like an athlete.
Absolutely.
And Kevin Owens is believable because he is a big dude, and I know dudes that look like that who can really scrap.
Who will be
exactly. So it looks the part, but if you're going out there and you ain't got no shoulders, you ain't got no posterior chain, like you just out here looking like a wet noodle. Like, perfect example. Another one. Like, prime example. I like Orange Cassidy.
You do.
He's not a big dude, and he gets busy.
I'm so surprised. I'm actually surprised that you like Orange Cassidy. But you know what? You like the entertainment, and he's entertaining, and he will kill, and he does show you athlete when he needs to. So you know
what put me over on him is when he went out there with one of my favorites. The UK Seth Rollins, my boy.
That is Will Ospreay for those of you who don't know.
Will Ospreay, my boy Will Ospreay. I love Will Ospreay.
And I think Will Ospreay is he British or Australian? Aussie.
He's British.
He's really
British. Yes, absolutely.
I thought he was Australian.
His guys, the guys, the rest of the guys in United Kingdom, they're Aussie, but he is British. Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
Can we talk about the ladies for a minute?
Of course.
All right. So real quick,
what organization? Where are we at?
Let's start. We're gonna start with AEW real quick because we have some fun character development happening.
Okay.
So it looks like Paige and not Paige, Saraya and same person, different name. Saraya and Toni Storm have turned heel as of tonight, like officially, which I thought was very interesting. Hikaru Shida.
I love me a good heel turn.
We know you do, and I think you would have really been feeling Saraya today because she showed all of her little heel fire, and she's a very good heel. Right now. Look, that's Sergio Rollins over here giving you dance moves. And And Hikaru Shida's still trying to figure out where she lands. Not Tony Storm, excuse me. Ruby Soho and Willow Nightingale are the faces in that situation.
I really like the two of them. I really
I
like
do
them.
too, as that street fight was very good.
Okay, real quick. Little point of contention. You know what? It's okay, because you was trying to say I'm a sizist over here. What I am is I like
he's trying to beat the allegations. Beat the allegations, sir.
Go and who
Yes,
can really, because you already know if you can wrestle and you can really wrestle,
yes.
I mess with you no matter what you look like.
Fact. I give you that. I will walk that comment back a bit.
Thank you.
I will walk it back a bit, but I will catch you. I'm gonna catch you every now and then.
I know that's what I'm saying. You need to point out somebody for me, and I'll be like, "You're right. He'll look a little whatever." So, because now I'm legitimately thinking, I'm like, "Who?" Because you was
on this show for months talking about Dominic Mysterio needs to hit the gym. Dominic Mysterio needs to hit the gym. Dominic Mysterio needs to hit the gym.
Accusations. False accusations.
All right, and then he got a character that you like, and now it's never mind. Okay.
Look, Dom Mysterio still need to go to get in the gym. Okay.
He still need to get in the gym.
Look, Dom Mysterio. Now I will say one thing: Dom Mysterio went to jail, came out and started posting workout videos on IG. I giggled my ass off.
Where I thought I was cracking up.
First of all,
because I need y'all to know he was on this show every week for like 2 months. Why are your legs so skinny?
I still have an issue with that.
Please stop skipping leg days. What's her said?
When you over here talking about mommy and stuff with Rhea, she is built like a brick shithouse. Okay?
Rhea could squat him with her one leg.
I'm sure he'd enjoy it.
I'm over all of y'all. That's happening. I did not see. I might have missed it, but I didn't see much of Britt Baker or the AEW Women's Champion tonight. So I'm very curious to see what's cracking with that. And of course, we're still on Mercedes Moné watch. So we're just watching.
I'll be honest with you. At this point in time, I don't think she's doing anything until after. I think she'll show up on the New Japan show. After New Japan, we'll see her. I'm not paying, especially after she didn't pop up with Soraya. I was just like, okay, that's not happening. That's not going to happen until afterwards, and I'm okay with that.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I also think that makes the most sense.
She just signed on to do a big movie. Like she's doing a lot of different things.
I agree. I think that's the best move too, because you don't want to dilute the New Japan appearance as well. Like make the New Japan appearance like her first appearance in North America,
and it's in the States. It's in San Jose. Exactly. It's going to be a great showing. But it's cool to see that they're doing that, and I'm glad that AEW is actually highlighting the women in the way that they are. I feel like that has been a problem that I've had with the women there. I feel like they haven't really let them cook. And the ones that are highlighted, I haven't felt were that talented in terms of work. I feel like they're starting to get people now who can actually work, and they're doing that. I mean, I think so highly of Ruby Soho and some of the other ones that we obviously discussed.
Love Willow.
I love Willow.
And that street fight was dope.
Was that her that missed the table with old girl last week?
I think it was.
It was Willow. She botched that, but botches happen. I hope the other one, I can't think who it was, but Willow definitely made that botch that completely missed the table and power bombed old girl on the floor. Ugh.
But everybody's okay though, so that's okay.
Everybody's okay, and it was an accident. I'm not blaming nobody. It's not like when
Nope, let's not bring it up. Nope, nopester, and no.
You knew who I was about to say, didn't you?
I sure did, and no.
She was just out here punching motherfuckers, and she didn't give a shit. She was just out here like fighting. She wasn't even wrestling. She was out here fighting. So that's that with her.
I will keep my thoughts to myself because no. Yeah, it's a good time, and I really like that Willow and Ruby got to do. I like the 4 that was in that street fight on Friday for Rampage. Carmelo and
they could all go. All of them could run.
The Jericho Appreciation Society chicks, and then Ruby and Willow, right? Yeah. I like that. I like that it was a street fight too, because
Yeah.
in theory, for their characters, that was out of character. Maybe except for Ruby. Ruby, that could be Ruby's character, but the other three,
Dude,
that was
Ruby kicked
very
it with
out of
Eddie and them.
character for them. Exactly. So I just like that. That was a different vibe
Can we
for most of them.
also salute to the surgeon because Ruby's nose, fantastic. Like
Bandaged her up real good. She's looking real great.
she cute now.
And I love her little hair. I've always loved her little haircut. I love that green. I love her little haircut. She's banging. I appreciate her. I appreciate her. Willow is the cutest, adorable. You just want to hug her. Like she's just so dope.
But they're fantastic performers, and
they're
that's
great
really
performers.
we
Absolutely,
mess with them, and that's why I really do like them. Yeah, no, you're right.
Salute the
I
surgeon.
mean, I'm glad to be able to. What was that?
I can't stand you. Salute the surgeon. I'm okay. I'm dead. Lord.
Fantastic. They did a great job. They really did do a great job. Look, in terms of that though, AEW obviously, I am. Look, it's amazing with everything that's going on with Vince and stuff like that. I am so excited about New Japan, Ring of Honor, AEW.
Serge is about to enter his. I'm not watching any mainstream wrestling. Using
AEW's mainstream. AEW is one of the big boys.
Happening.
AEW is one of the big boys.
Serge, I need you to know that you're going through the cycles of a wrestling fan for real. Like we all go through. Like this is, and I love that I'm watching it in real time, and we get to watch this as a Royal Rundown family in real time. Like since you've been back in wrestling for 2-ish years now at this point, and. Yeah. It's a cycle. It's genuinely a cycle, and something always happens where, I'm not gonna really not watching WWE right now because something happens. Whatever happens,
but what? I will say this: SmackDown has consistently been the best show on television. It's probably because it's
on Monday. It's just tough. It's that whole 3 hours.
That's the thing. But Raw's been fantastic also. There've been some great storylines. Obviously, everything they're doing here, they're definitely Usos, I think, are going to take an L this week. And I think they're going to give it to the Judgment Day because the Judgment Day didn't say they wanted a unified belt. They said, I want the red one. And when he said that out loud, I was like, okay, they're going to start. And honestly, it might be because of Sami Zayn. And that's why I think it's going to lead into that.
I also believe Sheamus and Drew are going for the Raw tag belts as well. SmackDown? So no, Raw. So they're separating the titles. They have title defenses for both titles. That's what I'm saying coming up. And so
what is the other? Who is the SmackDown?
I believe
Sheamus.
No, SmackDown is who you just said.
No, it's not. Raw is Judgment Day. SmackDown is Sheamus and Drew.
Yes. We'll go with that.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
Sheamus and Drew not gonna get that belt because they're not a real tag team. But I think they'll give it to. I think they'll definitely give it to the. I think Judgment Day will get it. To be fair, tomfoolery and stuff, I can absolutely see that happening. But look, aside from obviously Vince and everything else, guys, the world of professional wrestling has been fantastic. I know I came on here a little Debbie Downer. But it has been fantastic, and there's so much good talent and everybody out there. They still don't give the luchadors enough love. Dragon Lee is better than everybody on the NXT roster, and they're not going to let him. Dragon Lee is so good, he should not be on NXT. That's how I feel about Dragon Lee. He's done enough. He has absolutely done enough that he doesn't need to, but I get it if they want to build him up. By the way, who the hell's Axiom?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I thought too. Yeah. Like, come on, man. Just because you throw a mask on don't make you a luchador, B. Like, I don't know what can he do. Dude's like from Canada or something. Like,
even worse is Scripps. Scripps is worse.
Yeah, it's bad.
Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it.
It's not fun.
But good news. And I would like to get your opinion on this, Serge. On Raw, they didn't keep this they didn't keep it a secret. I mean, granted, it wasn't a real secret. They were heavily pubbing it, but they actually made it official. Cody Rhodes is entering the Royal Rumble. They announced it. They made it
I was going to
official.
talk about it next week. I was going to talk about all the
Just,
Cody stuff next week. But what were you
I
going to
just want
ask
to
for?
know I just want to know what your thoughts about them not keeping it secret, or not keeping it a surprise.
In 2002, Triple H had a bad injury.
Right.
And in 2002, they pubbed him. They gave him very similar build-up.
The video package build-up.
The video package build-up, the vignettes and everything. Triple H has never been bigger after that point. He had the huge pop. He's big. They're using that exact same playbook. I'm not mad at it. People are going to, and think about it like this also. He already had the big surprise that you weren't quite sure about. He had that last year's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You don't need that again. He been had that. Let us know. You know what I'm saying?
You know, it didn't bother me too much either because like we already do that. But I think it's nice because it does.
As long as he was healthy, we knew he was coming back then. And honestly, he should probably win it unless DJ comes back.
No, we will talk about that next week.
We'll talk about that next week. Well, guys, with that being said, we got a lot to talk about next week. So we are going to leave you guys right here. Before we get out of here, as always, please like, share, and subscribe to this video right here. If you like what you are watching, please tell a friend. And also, please go out there and let your friends and everybody else know about the fastest growing YouTube page and all of combat sports. We are talking about none other than the Scrap News. Please check out the Scrap News. Some of the absolute best. Oh, what happened? Nope. Wrong one.
No.
Some of the I thought I turned it back on. I guess I didn't.
No, you're back now.
But definitely do that. And Dre, before we get out of here, what you got anything to say to the people?
Yeah, be kind to each other, man. Everybody's going through something. Life is life in these days, and it's tough. So just be kind to each other, be good to people, hug the folks you love, and just take it a day at a time, y'all.
Absolutely, man. and with that being said, hold up a second. Let me turn this off. Turn that off a little bit for you guys. Absolutely be kind to each other. Shout out, much love, Jay Briscoe and his family.
Yes, and the family.
And like I said, beginning of the year, combat sports is crazy. Don't matter what's going on, bills are still due. But when people at work is looking at you crazy, you know what you got to tell them? You look them directly in their face, in their eyes, and you tell them this.
Yesterday's price is not today's price. Yesterday's price is not today's price.